Have you ever felt that your wealth was waiting for you to move first? Not waiting on your hustle, not waiting on another job, another deal, or another lucky break, but waiting on something deeper, a whisper within, a command, a sacred permission. This is for the soul that has not failed but paused, not out of laziness but because something in the spirit said, not yet. You've stood still not because you're weak but because you were aligning, listening, preparing to step into a current that doesn't crash like chaos, but flows with divine order. We call it the divine wealth move. It is not man-made. It does not obey deadlines or alarms. It responds only to alignment, to the spiritual decision that says, I am ready. Florence Scovel Shinn said it with fierce clarity. There is no delay in divine mind. The delay is never in the source. It's in the soul that hasn't yet remembered its authority. It's in the words unspoken, the commands unclaimed. Picture this. A wide, peaceful river flowing endlessly with provision, opportunity, and favor. But there you are standing on the bank, motionless, watching it all go by. Not because it isn't for you, but because no one ever told you you could step in, that the current would carry you the moment you spoke. And here you are now, on the edge of something eternal. The divine wealth move has already begun, but it will not drag you. It waits for your command, your yes, your inner authority. You were not meant to be still forever. Stillness was for listening. Stillness was for instruction. But now the divine tide rises at your feet. And the law is simple, speak and it shall answer. Divine order is moving me into wealth now. I am no longer still. I command and the way appears. Let these words become your new internal dialogue. Not frantic, not fearful, but rooted like a mountain. Speak them not as a wish but as a law. You are not chasing wealth. You are aligning with it. Because wealth is not coming. It is already moving. And now so are you. You are stepping into the divine current. Not with effort but with trust. Not with panic but with presence. You are not waiting for life to change. You are changing the signal within you. You are giving heaven the green light. And now it begins. This is your sacred permission. This is the ignition of your divine wealth move. The bank is behind you. The river receives you. Your next step is not physical. It's spiritual. It's spoken. It's now. Breathe deep. The current is awake. And so are you. Let the wealth move begin. There is a secret most never hear. Not because it's hidden, but because it's too quiet for noise. Too sacred for the hurried. Yet it shapes kingdoms, topples lack, and moves the gates of wealth without a single hand raised. It is the voice. Your voice. Not in shouting, but in divine alignment. Because your word is not just sound. It is a signal. A declaration to the invisible laws that shape the visible world. Florence Scovel Shinn said it best. Your word is your wand. Not a metaphor. A mechanism. Every syllable you speak sets spiritual architecture in motion. Every sentence either builds the temple of wealth or crumbles it by neglect. You don't speak to describe your life. You speak to command it. Every time you say, I can't, the gate closes. Every time you say, I'm broke, the flow shrinks. Every time you whisper, I don't know how, the bridge beneath your feet fades into mist. You are not just telling stories. You are building futures. Let's speak plainly now. Your current results are echoes. Echoes of conversations you've had with yourself when no one was watching. Words spoken in traffic. In frustration. In fear. In sarcasm. In self-protection. And those words became blueprints. Invisible orders to the universe. But the beauty of divine law is this. The moment you align, the moment everything changes. You can change your language. And when you do, your language changes everything. This is the law of spoken alignment. It is not wishful thinking. It is not just positive vibes. It is divine science. A spiritual transaction that says, as I speak, I shape. As I declare, I design. As I align, I attract. Let this become your new ritual. A sacred moment each morning where you do not scroll. Do not check. Do not reach. But instead you stand in silence. And speak life. And every prayer has power. Speak as if heaven is listening. Because it is. And as you do, the gates swing open. Not from force, but from frequency. The law of spoken alignment does not lie. It returns what you release. It mirrors what you speak. It multiplies what you believe enough to verbalize. So speak, and let the divine wealth move continue. Your path is being built. Brick by sacred brick. Word by sacred word. Let no careless whisper undo your altar. Let no silent doubt cancel your command. Speak with reverence. Speak with boldness. And wealth will answer. There is a silent law woven through every corner of divine manifestation. It does not shout. It does not force. It does not fight to be seen. It waits for the one who stops striving and begins to trust. This is the law of non-resistance. The sacred invitation to stop wrestling with life and start sailing with it. You cannot walk a path of abundance with clenched fists and tight shoulders. You cannot summon divine wealth while gripping your fears. Florence Scovel Shinn said it clearly. Fear and impatience derange your demonstration. Meaning the moment you push, the moment you grasp and beg and demand, you break the magnetic current that draws heaven's supply toward you. Most people try to manifest while secretly bracing for disaster. They chant affirmations while scanning for what's missing. They pray for prosperity while preparing for the worst. This is resistance. Not in action but in energy. Not in words but in vibration. Imagine for a moment trying to hold the wind in your hands. Fingers curled. Muscles tight. Chest trembling with effort. But the wind cannot be held. It can only be sailed. Non-resistance is the art of raising your sails and trusting the invisible wind to carry you. Close your eyes and see yourself in a boat. A quiet river moves beneath you. You've been rowing for years, exhausting yourself to control the current. But now, finally, your arms fall to your sides. You lay the oars down, and you feel the soft pull of the river begin to guide you. This is the divine flow. It knows the way. It knows what you need. It knows when to turn. When you release, you allow this current to take you somewhere better than your planning could reach. This is not passivity. This is holy participation. Non-resistance is not doing nothing. It is doing what is yours to do, and letting God do what is His. Say to yourself now, I resist nothing. I trust everything. Wealth flows where peace is planted. When something delays, you breathe instead of panic. When a door closes, you say thank you instead of why me. When your plan falls apart, you smile and whisper, something greater is unfolding. Let's practice the sacred breath of surrender. Inhale deeply and silently say within, I release. Exhale slowly and feel, I receive. Again, inhale, I release. Exhale, I receive. Feel how your body softens. Feel how the resistance melts. You are not here to drag divine wealth into form. You are here to allow it. Wealth is like water. It avoids force. It flows where it's welcomed. It gathers where peace is present. Let go of how the money will come. Let go of when it must arrive. Let go of who must say yes. And let God make a way where your logic saw none. Your job is not the miracle. Your job is the alignment. When you're aligned with peace, patience, and presence, you unlock the divine rhythm that holds all things together. Resistance says, I need this now. Non-resistance says, I am ready whenever it is mine. Resistance says, if this doesn't happen, I'll fall apart. Non-resistance says, what's meant for me can never miss me. Feel the difference in your spirit. There is nothing you need to chase. Only something you are being prepared to receive. The universe is not testing you. It is training you to trust. You may not know where this river leads, but the one who made it does. And that is enough. So today let peace be your prayer. Let release be your ritual. Let faith be your frequency. And wealth will follow. Not because you forced it, but because you flowed with it. Now, keep your breath slow. Keep your mind soft. Keep your soul open. We are not done yet. Because in the next sacred law, you will learn how the invisible becomes visible. How to partner with the divine timing that orchestrates it all. Come, we sail on. There comes a moment in the spiritual journey when the soul whispers, I've done everything. Why is nothing shifting? You've spoken the affirmations. You've visualized the outcome. You've stayed in the vibration of faith. But the manifestation still hasn't shown itself in your outer world. And silently, frustration begins to stir. Doubt creeps in. Not because you're faithless, but because you are human. You begin to wonder if the universe has forgotten you. But hear this now. Delay is not denial. The divine clock has no hands, yet it ticks in flawless precision. It does not measure time in minutes but in alignment. It waits until the path, the people, and the pieces come into spiritual agreement. It is not punishing you. It is preparing you. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Faith knows it has already received and acts accordingly. This is the law of divine timing. Not when you think you're ready, but when the universe knows your readiness is real. When your frequency is not begging for the blessing but embodying it. When your nervous system can hold the very thing you once feared to lose. The divine does not operate on urgency. It does not rush miracles. It orchestrates them, like a sacred symphony where every note waits for the perfect beat. Your wealth is part of that orchestra. Not a solo but a harmony. It may feel like silence right now, but silence is the sacred hallway before the door opens. You are not being tested. You are being attuned. There is someone watching this who feels forgotten. You've prayed with a sincere heart. You've obeyed the inner nudges, and yet your bank account still mocks your faith. Let this be your healing. You are not abandoned. You are not late. You are on divine time. Imagine a clock without numbers, without hands. Just a radiant center, glowing with invisible wisdom. That is how the universe keeps time. Not by your calendar but by your readiness. Not by force but by fulfillment. Say this now with the authority of your spirit. I am on divine time. My wealth is never late. It appears when it serves my soul. Feel that declaration settle into your bones. Breathe into it. Hold your heart and release the inner alarm that says you're behind. There is no behind in divine flow. There is only now. Your manifestations are never stalled. They are being sculpted. In the unseen realm, wealth is being shaped with the fingerprints of destiny. You are not waiting for the money. The money is aligning itself with the version of you who no longer chases it. You are not begging the universe. You are becoming the embodiment of what you asked for. An embodiment takes time. This is your sacred turning point. Replace "why is it taking so long?" with "what in me is being prepared?" Instead of "when will it happen?" ask "who am I becoming as I wait?" Use this journaling prompt. What have I declared delayed that is already mine in spirit? Write with honesty. Write with reverence. Let your pen reveal where your faith is still tied to control. Now close your eyes and breathe in divine patience. See your life as a sacred river. Not stagnant, not still, but winding through the perfect landscape of timing. See your blessings coming toward you. Not rushing, not crawling, but arriving exactly when the soil of your soul is ready to receive them. Divine timing is not a delay. It is the protection of your peace. It is the choreography of your character. It is the promise that what is yours cannot be lost. And as we move forward, let us go deeper into another law. A law that removes the need to chase. The law of magnetic identity. Because once you become the embodiment, you no longer seek. You attract. There is a silent law that governs every thought you think. It is not loud. It does not beg for attention, but it shapes your world in the image of your most dominant belief. This is the law of substitution. Your mind, like sacred soil, can only nourish one seed at a time. It cannot dwell in lack and abundance simultaneously. It cannot rehearse fear and expect peace. It cannot plant weeds and grow roses. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "The subconscious is impressed by your dominant idea, not by your wishes, not by your passing prayers, but by what you allow to take root and remain." So ask yourself, what thoughts have you allowed to stay? You say, "Money is tight." But the moment that thought arises, you are not punished. You are simply invited. Invited to substitute. To cancel the lie and command the truth. Speak instead. Divine substance is unlimited and now flowing to me. That is the sacred switch. The mental replanting. It may seem simple, but this simplicity is divine technology. One dominant thought. That is all your mind will hold. So choose it with the authority of someone who remembers they are the sower of their destiny. You say, "Nothing works." But that is not a fact. That is a weed. Pull it out and plant the rose. Declare, "Everything aligns now." You are not here to resist thoughts. You are here to replace them. To rewire your mental garden until your inner landscape mirrors divine beauty. There is power in this daily practice. It is called cancel and command. When a thought of lack whispers in your mind, cancel it. Speak out loud or silently, I cancel that. Then command, I now receive the truth. Do not let old programming narrate your now. The moment a thought enters that does not serve your destiny, it is not your enemy. It is your opportunity. Each thought is a choice point, a gate, a seed. You do not need to fight your thoughts. You only need to redirect them. Fear may arise, but you do not have to host it. Scarcity may knock, but you do not have to invite it in. You are the master gardener. Your word is the sunlight. Your belief is the water. And what you feed grows. Repeat this quietly to yourself, not as a ritual, but as a declaration of power. I no longer accept fear. I substitute it with divine knowing. All is well, all is wealth. Let that become your dominant thought. Let it enter the soil of your subconscious like a golden root. When you think the thought of peace, peace begins to shape your reality. When you think the thought of plenty, plenty responds. You are not at the mercy of your old beliefs. You are at the mercy of your repeated choices. So choose again. Choose beauty. Choose divine order. Choose the voice of truth over the echo of fear. The law of substitution is the key that unlocks the mental prison of what is, and opens the silent gate of what can be. Every time you replace a lie with a spiritual truth, you alter the frequency of your being, and reality shifts to reflect it. So if the winds of doubt return, you return stronger. With your sacred phrases. With your rose seeds. With your soul anchored knowing that truth always overrides fear. And in the next breath, you are not the one begging for answers. You are the one planting new worlds. Gently now let us breathe into this transformation. Inhale clarity. Exhale confusion. Inhale truth. Exhale noise. And in that stillness you remember the truth. You are not here to argue with the storm. You are here to plant the sun. And it is already rising in you. Let this be your turning point. Let the next section carry you even deeper into divine remembrance. There is a sacred moment when hoping must end and knowing must begin. When you no longer wait for the miracle but become the vessel through which it arrives. This is the law of assumption. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, faith knows it has already received and acts accordingly. Neville Goddard echoed the same divine truth. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Together they speak as one voice in the divine orchestra of truth. Not asking, not wishing, but becoming. Your inner state is the script, and the world is simply the stage that obeys your rehearsal. What you believe within, you birth without. You say you want wealth, but do you move like it is already yours? You say you desire abundance, but do you rise with the posture of the prosperous? You must feel the future before it arrives. You must walk in it as if the ground already responds. There was a man who wanted wealth. He spoke the words. He read the books. He did the work. But in the chambers of his soul, he still saw himself as small, as struggling, as the one outside the gate, until one morning he stopped hoping, and started assuming. He stood taller. He slowed his speech. He thanked God not for what was coming, but for what had already been written in his spirit. And that was the shift. That was the unlocking. That was the moment heaven mirrored him. The law of assumption is not imagination. It is incarnation. It is the soul wearing the garment of answered prayer and walking through the day as if prophecy is now. Because it is. You do not have to force manifestation. You only have to become it. Close your eyes. See yourself walking as the version of you that has already received. Notice your posture. Notice the peace on your face. Notice how people respond to your energy. Speak a sentence in that voice. The voice of the fulfilled. The one who no longer begs the universe but commands with gentle power. This is your daily practice. 2 minutes of embodiment each morning. 2 minutes of divine rehearsal. You rise. You breathe. You assume. And when doubt whispers, you do not debate it. You return to the throne. You remind your mind who you are. I assume abundance. I move like wealth. I receive like royalty. Let these words echo in your body until they are no longer words but ways of being. Let them shape your walk, your glance, your choices. Let them replace every worn-out identity that told you you were not enough. You are not here to be worthy. You are here to remember that you already are. The divine does not wait for perfection to deliver the promise. It waits for alignment. And the law of assumption is your sacred alignment tool. It is the soul's compass returning to true north. It is not arrogance. It is agreement with your highest destiny. So rewrite the script. Let your inner dialogue be the rehearsal of the divine. Stop asking when. Start acting as if. You are the wealthy one. You are the chosen one. You are the one reality is waiting to match. Say it again. I assume abundance. I move like wealth. I receive like royalty. Let this be the new atmosphere of your life. Let it carry you. Let it lead you. Let it be the silent gate through which the unseen becomes seen. This is not pretense. This is prophecy. And you are the living proof. As we move forward, carry this assumption like breath. Let it dissolve the last pieces of lack still lingering in your energy. Let the next section unfold the deeper mystery of receiving. There is a secret frequency that expands everything it touches. It is not force. It is not effort. It is not hustle. It is praise. Florence Scovel Shinn spoke this truth clearly. Praise expands, criticism contracts. This is the sacred law of praise and expansion, a law that most overlook while chasing their next breakthrough. Because in the rush to receive, they forget to rejoice. In the search for more, they silence the song. But the soul does not expand through complaints. It blooms through celebration. Whatever you bless grows. Whatever you praise multiplies. Whatever you acknowledge with love returns in greater measure. Praise is sunlight to the seed. It awakens the unseen. It warms the soil of the subconscious until divine harvests emerge. Feels rich. You are not poor in spirit. You are wealthy in awareness. Praise is how you spend that wealth. When your mind begins to spiral, praise. When your fear begins to rise, praise. Let praise become your rhythm. Let it dance in your voice. Let it color your thoughts. You are not praising for results. You are praising from revelation. You are not pleading. You are proclaiming that everything is working, that everything is aligning, that everything is expanding. Because the more you bless, the more you are blessed. The more you celebrate, the more you elevate. The more you honor what is, the more you open space for what can be. Your life is listening, and praise is the language it understands. So even if your bank account hasn't changed yet, change your language. Thank you for the increase in motion. Thank you for the ideas becoming income. Thank you for the divine doors opening unseen. This is not delusion. This is divine participation. Praise turns ordinary moments into sacred expansion. And in this state of holy joy, wealth responds. Because joy is wealth, and wealth follows joy. Let this practice become your new normal. Let your heart become your sanctuary. Let your words become instruments in the orchestra of expansion. And as you praise, the universe praises back. Let us now carry this light into the next sacred truth. Let the celebration continue. There is a sacred moment in creation. A breath before the form takes shape. A whisper before the world hears it. That moment belongs to the image you hold within. Florence Scovel Shinn taught, imaging is the beginning of demonstration. Not wishing. Not waiting. Imaging. To imagine is to plant the seed. To speak is to call the rain. Together they summon the harvest. You can say, I am abundant. But if the image in your mind is the overdue bill, the shrinking balance, the fear in your chest as you open your banking app, then your words are seeds tossed into stone. The universe does not respond to language alone. It responds to the vibration behind it, the vision you carry, the image you repeat. A woman once spoke every day, I am wealthy. But when she closed her eyes, she saw struggle. She imagined lack. She rehearsed fear. Her affirmation was real, but her inner movie contradicted it. Spirit is not mocked. It mirrors you with precision. Not by what you say once, but what you continue to see. This is the law of the spoken image. Your word is the paintbrush. Your imagination the canvas. If you declare abundance, see yourself walking through golden doors. Feel the floor beneath your feet as if it were marble. Hear the gentle music of ease playing through the corridors of your life. Say it. See it. Repeat it. Let's practice now. Scene 1. Close your eyes and speak these words. I walk into a room and wealth follows. Now imagine the light that fills the space as you enter. The smiles. the atmosphere of success wrapping around you like velvet. Scene 2. Speak aloud. My accounts are overflowing with divine surplus. And then picture it. Not numbers on a screen but a feeling. The ease in your chest. The thankfulness in your breath. The lightness in your shoulders. Scene 3. Say gently, my life is the portrait of divine prosperity. And now see it. Your home radiating peace. Your body clothed in dignity. Your table full. Your heart at rest. Words alone are not enough. Imagination alone is not enough. But when your words and vision marry, you awaken the divine artist within. Every day speak life with your mouth. See life with your spirit. And let the world reflect the image you formed. This is not mental fantasy. It is spiritual law. What you consistently speak and consistently see must eventually crystallize. It is not a matter of if. It is a matter of divine alignment. Florence didn't say, hope is the beginning of demonstration. She said, imaging is. The soul speaks in images, and the universe listens to the soul. So if you've been affirming and nothing seems to shift, ask yourself, what picture do I truly believe in? What reality am I projecting when no one is looking? It is time to cleanse the canvas, to repaint the scenes, to align the inner vision with the outer declaration. Repeat this truth with me now. I speak and I see. My words paint divine images. My vision becomes wealth. This is not poetic language. It is creative law. It is how the unseen becomes seen, how spirit becomes substance, how your new life becomes your now life. And as we move forward, you will discover the next law of truth that will shape your environment from the inside out. We've spoken it. We've seen it. Now let's build it. There are treasures buried in your past. Not in some far-off memory but in the words you once spoke. The beliefs you once breathed. The statements you whispered when no one heard but the universe. And those words didn't vanish. They formed patterns, blueprints, invisible locks on the gates of your abundance. But hear this, just as words created the prison, words can unlock it. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, man can change his conditions by changing his words, not by fighting the past, not by begging for the future, but by rewriting the script of now. This is the law of reversal and reclaiming. Whatever you rejected through fear, you now reclaim through faith. Whatever you cursed through ignorance, you now bless through wisdom. We have all spoken against our own abundance. We've said, I can't afford that. Or, money always slips away. Or worse, people like me just don't get ahead. In that moment we turn from wealth. We refuse the divine inheritance. Not out of malice but from wounded expectation. From years of lack dressed up as realism. But today we remember. We remember that words are keys. And you hold the power to reverse what was spoken and reclaim what was lost. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you need to. Now call to mind 3 statements you once said that limited your wealth. Feel them rise. Don't judge them. Just witness them. Maybe you said, I'll never have enough. Or, I'm not smart with money. Or, wealth just isn't for people like me. Now speak the reversal. Speak it with the authority of one who walks with angels. I always have more than enough. My mind is divinely equipped to steward abundance. Wealth belongs to me by divine right. Speak, see, reclaim. This is your reversal ritual. Each time you rewrite an old belief, the soul exhales. Each time you replace a curse with a command, the divine orchestra begins to shift. Say this with me now. I reclaim every lost opportunity. I reverse every curse of lack. I call wealth back now. Say it again. But this time let it echo through your body. Let it speak to every part of you that still thinks it's too late. It is not too late. It is just in time. You are not begging the universe. You are commanding with divine permission. Every word of regret that shaped your past is being rewritten by power. Every locked door is now unsealed. Imagine your life like a map. Some paths were closed. Some roads never traveled. Not because you lacked the potential but because your words led you elsewhere. Now see yourself holding a golden pin, and with it you draw new lines, new directions, new doors. You don't need to revisit pain to reclaim power. You just need to revise it. Every past limitation is clay in your hands. You speak and the mountains remember who they are. You declare and time bends to serve you. You write, and the universe answers with a scroll of new beginnings. From this moment on, reverse every thought that says you're behind. Reclaim every blessing you once denied. Speak with boldness. Not from ego but from alignment. Let your daily practice become one of reversal. Each time a limiting thought rises, meet it with its divine opposite. I'm behind becomes, I am always on divine time. I can't becomes, God within me can. It's too late becomes, my breakthrough is right on schedule. You are not correcting the past. You are restoring your now. Let this be your prayer. I am the master of sacred revision. I undo every harmful word spoken in fear. I retrieve all good I once rejected. And I rise in the rhythm of restoration. The law of reversal is not about fixing. It's about reclaiming. And what you reclaim you restore. What you restore you multiply. And now, as you begin to walk in this restored alignment, prepare to step into the highest gate of all. Because the final law waiting ahead is not just about wealth. It's about becoming the living embodiment of divine flow itself. You have walked the sacred path. You've passed through the veils of fear. You've touched the architecture of invisible law. You felt the fire of remembrance rise in your bones. Now the question is no longer what if. It is what now. These 10 laws you've been shown are not whispers to admire. They are divine switches, spiritual levers, invisible forces that respond only to movement. Not emotional movement, not desperate motion, but divine aligned action. The kind of action that begins with the spoken word. Wealth has never been withheld from you. It was simply awaiting your vibration, your decision, your divine yes. And now if your soul is awake, you know, the move isn't wealth's to make. It's yours. So today we shift from student to commander, from receiver to initiator. You are not the one hoping for a door. You are the door. This moment is the culmination, the crescendo, the final ignition. Let us now seal what has been stirred. Let us speak with the full force of the laws you've reclaimed. This is your 7-day spoken wealth activation challenge. A sacred rhythm of declaration. 1 minute. Once a day. 7 days. To command the current of divine wealth into movement. Here is your daily declaration. Speak it. Feel it. Don't just say the words. Become them. Spoken wealth activation daily declaration. I walk in divine certainty. My words carry the weight of wealth's arrival. I now align with the law of expectancy, knowing what I ask is already mine. I stand still in the law of non-resistance, trusting what flows is exactly what serves. I declare under the law of the tongue, my voice builds bridges to miracles. I substitute all fear with faith through the law of substitution. I move with divine timing, never early, never late. I command wealth with love, not fear. For I know the law of vibration responds to harmony. I visualize not to chase but to embody. I revise my past with power and reverse what once held me. And I walk under the law of reversal, turning lack into legacy. I am not asking anymore. I am activating. Wealth has heard me. And it is moving in my favor now. It is done. Speak this aloud. Even if your voice trembles. Even if your room is quiet and the world seems still. Because heaven is not moved by volume. It is moved by vibration. The divine orchestra does not wait for applause. It plays when the conductor lifts his hand. And you, beloved, are that conductor. You are not waiting for wealth. Wealth is waiting for your command. It has been circling you silently. It has heard your unconscious instructions. But today you are conscious. Today you speak as one awakened. This is not about louder affirmations. This is about clearer authority. Not just hoping, but heralding. For 7 days become sacred repetition. 7 days command with clarity. 7 days treat your voice as the wand of divine causation. The gates will respond. They always do. See yourself not as someone hoping to arrive, but as someone already sent. Each time a limiting thought. You are the message. You are the signal. You are the one the divine wealth current has been waiting for. Let this be the new baseline of your being.